Hello and welcome to another edition of Inside Village Communications, where members of the VMS team come together to help residents learn how to get connected and stay informed. I am Elise Rothrock, the VMS Communications Manager for VMS, and I am joined today by Chuck Holland, who is the Director of our Information Services Department, which includes resident services and information services, and by Jenning Lai, who is a communications associate who is our webmaster for LagunaWoodsVillage.com. Today, Chuck is going to be talking about the resident portal, and Jenning is going to be going through the Village website, which many of you know is new and enhanced, and how you can get the most out of this very important tool to stay connected and informed. So Jenning, let's start with you. So we're talking about the portal and we're talking about the website.
Yeah.
Can you briefly tell us what the difference is between the two of those things?
Yes, of course. So the public website is, as you might imagine, for the general public. So this does include current residents, prospective residents, existing residents, and then the resident portal is more focused for their own personal information. So on the resident portal, you'll be able to find where you can pay your balances, view your assessments, and also submit and view work orders.
So we have a lot to cover, so why don't we just go ahead and jump right in. And I know you're prepared to give us a demo on a lot of the different features of the website so that people can know where to go to find the information that they need. So would you mind jumping in and starting with recreation and clubs and how
Yes.
people can find those two things?
Yeah. So one of the more fun things that people can find on the website is under amenities. So under here, you'll see all of the facilities and amenities that we can offer, including recreation and fitness sports, as well as classes and also village clubs. So this is something that a lot of residents will find very useful to making their life a lot more fun. But there is also something that's a little bit more useful, maybe more practical, is checking out the services tab. So this is where you can find all of the departments and divisions where you can address any of the concerns that you might have.
And I noticed that one new feature that was added at residents' request was the coyote awareness and reporting,
Yes.
which is very important right now in the village.
This is a new page right here. And then, of course, we do recommend that all residents are subscribed to the weekly What's Up in the Village newsletter that is sent every Friday. You are not automatically enrolled, so I would recommend that you go down here to press subscribe to news, and then you'll receive these to your inbox every week. These articles do get updated with important information, closures, announcements, events, and other things that residents should know.
And I'd also like to point out that this is the tab where folks can read the digital version of the Village Breeze.
Yes, that's correct.
Sometimes the Village Breeze, which is a bulk mailing program, doesn't always make it to every manor. And if people don't want to go the route of going to a clubhouse or coming to the community center to pick up a copy, they can always read the digital version online. And also underneath that is the upcoming meetings, which is also important for those folks who like to get involved with committee meetings and board meetings and know when those things are taking place.
Right, and if they wanted to view the schedule for all of those as well, you'll see these schedules for board meetings on the left here, and then you have recreation, events, and activities over here, as well as maintenance and landscaping schedules. And then, like you were saying, if you wanted to become even more involved, you can learn more about the Board of Directors under governance. You can also find more official documents like rules, regulations, policies, meeting minutes under governance documents. This will require a login, which is your resident portal login. And then you'll also be able to find the Granicus link. So this is where you'll be able to watch board meetings and videos.
Wonderful, great. And if someone has an issue, a landscaping issue or a maintenance issue, and they want to get that process rolling, how could they go about doing that on the website?
So they could hit this button right up here that says service request. And they'll fill out all their information, how we can help you. They can also include photos, and then they just press submit. So this will go to resident services, which will field the inquiry, but they can also choose to use this drop-down for any of their specific concerns, and it'll go right to the right department. But they, other than using this service request, they can also log on to the resident portal and submit a work order.
And I know Chuck will get into that a little bit
he will
more
get into
later.
that later. Yeah.
The Contact Us tab, what can people expect to find if they want to contact, they just want to submit a question, or they're looking to reach out to a specific department, or they're looking for frequently called numbers? Is that something that they'll find under Contact Us?
Yes. So the Contact Us is a very good page to know. If you we're going to remember at least one page, it would be the Contact Us page, just because there's a lot of information on it. We do have the quick link buttons at the top to email or call resident services. And then we do have all of our holiday hours, our community center hours, a quick phone list for important numbers, and then some surveys over here. Further down, we do have an extensive phone list that you'll be able to find pretty much any phone number that you could think of. And then down here is our main Contact Us form, where again you can try to submit an inquiry to any one of these departments or divisions. So it's a very useful tool for residents to submit their questions if there's any type of question that they have.
So what we're noticing is a pattern that there is so much to know and so much to do here in the village that if you go and explore on the website, it's really a matter of investing a little bit of time in each tab and each page to scroll down, see what each landing page offers.
Yeah,
That's great.
And if residents aren't sure where to start, they can click this little chat icon in the bottom, and they can ask the chat service agent really anything that they might need help with. It will do its best to help find the information that they're looking for. It may not always answer your question, but it will definitely lead you in the right way.
That's great. That's great. And then another icon that we have down at the bottom to the right of the chatbot icon is the 88 icon. And run through quickly how folks can change the attributes of their screen for easier viewing, readability, color contrast, things like that.
Yeah, so it really depends on what you're looking for, but if you all you have to do is really just toggle these on and off, and it helps you with whatever you are specifically looking to be helped with. But you can you can increase the content scaling or change the font, line height, all those kinds of things. You can change contrast, dark contrast, and this should really be able to help make it so that the website is perfect for how you would like to view it.
Excellent. There's a lot of options there for people.
Yes, there are a lot of options.
Great. So with any website, there can be some challenges and some pain points. What's your best advice to people for getting around some of those issues, like how to reset a password, what to do if you get locked out, what browser might work best, and where to look first if you're lost, if you're just going to the website for the first time?
Right, so the browser that we actually recommend for the website is Google Chrome, and a lot of login issues can be solved by clearing your cache or using an incognito browser, just because there might be saved passwords or things that might be messing up your login. But if that doesn't work, then the first team that you'll want to contact is resident services. You can email or call, and they'll help with your resident portal login, which is most likely the logins that residents are having trouble with.
All right. Where would you recommend somebody go first on the website, just to jump in?
Contact us.
Contact us.
Definitely
Okay,
contact
great.
us.
Great, thank you. I'd just like to add that the PC Club offers classes for residents on how to use various technology tools, including the resident portal, the website, and Dwelling Live for guest passes. They're located on the 3rd floor of the community center, and you can visit www.thepcclub.org for a full class schedule and for more information. Well, thank you, Jenny, for taking time to share your knowledge of the website with us, and I hope that this goes a long way toward helping residents find what they need.
Thank you, Elise, for the opportunity for me to demonstrate the resident portal with the community. As you know, the new resident portal actually has lots of features to offer to our residents. Anything from being able to submit a service request, checking their account balance, paying their assessments online, running their monthly statements, and also looking at our calendars that connect to the website, any of their recreation portal information that would get them access to the ticket box office, and many other links as well. So my hope today is to kind of walk through the resident portal. The most important thing is to know is how do you log into the resident portal, and we're going to demonstrate that today.
Great.
Right. Everything is really based off of your email address that you have on file with Resident Services. So just keep in mind the address that you have for Resident Services is the same email address that you use as your username on the resident portal. Your first go around, you have to register first. You'll get an email link in your email to the same email address that you logged in with, and then you set your password. Once you set your password, you can come back to the site, follow the link, come back to the resident portal and log in. And we're going to look at that right now.
All right.
So if you go to www.lagunawoodsvillage.com to the community website, in the upper section of the website, you'll see what Jenny was referring to earlier, the service requests, then contact us, but there's also a couple other options up here. One is resident login and one is guest passes. So what we're going to focus on today is the resident login. Okay, this is a very similar to any other website that you'd utilize. What you'd have to do, again, your email address is your email address on file, and your password is the password that you set earlier by going through the registration process. If you wonder, if this is the first time that you're using the resident portal, you're going to go to register account, right? And you're going to put your email address in there. And if you have an email address on file with us, you will receive an email with a link to reset your password, and then you'll be able to come back here and sign in. So right now we're going to just sign in. We're going to simulate signing in as a test resident. And don't mind, I'm just using my email address. And we will sign in. Now, one thing about it is, if you want to remember your sign-in so you don't have to put your password in every single time, just click that Remember Me checkbox and you'll be well on your way. With that being said, we'll go ahead and sign in. And if you wanted to save your password for a later date, you can actually hit save, but for this illustration, we are not going to save this. Okay, so this is our the dashboard, the resident dashboard. This is your personal resident portal. And we're going to go through a couple of the screens today. Obviously, we don't have enough time to go through every single option, but I think we're going to be able to cover quite a bit of it. So let's just kind of start with the left-hand side in the main navigation area. You'll see dashboards, payments, work orders, performing arts centers or PAC events, vehicles, emergency contacts, and or external websites. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see more information about your own personal profile information by clicking the little drop-down arrow, and you can see your address, your resident ID, and your account number. Sometimes those are very important when you're contacting resident services or you're contacting the gates to enter a guest. You're going to need that resident ID number. And then from there, you can actually click on Manage Your Profile, and we'll get into those settings a little bit later. Focusing on the center of the screen here, what you can see is you can see your basic information, obviously your name, your address, your matter number, but then you can see really these widgets at the top here what gets you access to the most important information. Number one, the most important thing is your balance due. If you had a balance due here, I could click on the View Payment Options there. It would give me a list of all my resident services, chargeable service and assessment services, and it gives me the ability to pay either or all, right? And then you get a chance to see your work orders. You can see what work orders you have in progress, which ones are new, and which ones are in a final walk status. That means the work has been completed, but yet have not been closed. And then you would be able, if you did have any work order scheduled, you'd be able to see this little widget over here that would show you your upcoming appointments. That way you can stay up to date when and you'll know when maintenance is coming out to do some work inside your manor. Very important to pay attention to that. What we don't like to do is schedule an in-home repair, and then the worker gets to your home and nobody's home. So be very careful and pay attention to the scheduling. Here are some enhancements of the new resident portal. This is on the events and activities. This information is really coming from the community website, but we've embedded it inside the resident portal to give you a one-stop shop solution for all your events and activities needs. You have the Performing Arts Center, the PAC, right? And you can see the different events that are up and coming, right? I can go to view all events that will take you to the actual PAC box office software, but just kind of giving you the idea, high-level overview here. You can review the tickets that you have online, and then you're able to purchase the tickets online. The days of you actually calling up or sending an email over to recreation at the PAC are over. You can actually hit the buy now, register with your credit card, and then buy your tickets online. Also, your clubs and classes. Jenny illustrated, pointed out earlier, where on the recreation calendar where all the clubs and classes are, and then you can also find that information here as well. And then you can hit view full class schedule, and that will take you back to the community website. And then on the right-hand side, we have the golf course information. As you know, we also have a third-party solution called Golf Fora, and that's our golf reservation system. So they actually broadcast information out there about what courses are online, what's available, and then if you can click down here to book a tee time. The days of sitting in the room at 5 o'clock in the morning doing your lottery by pulling out chips from a bucket, those days are over. You do all your registrations online. And traveling further down. Now what you see here is is this an easier, simplified view to look at the calendar that was on the community website. You have your board meeting and agendas. That's from your governance page, right? Then you also have the maintenance and notices. That's coming from obviously the maintenance calendar from the community website. Now, you could actually, if you wanted to see more information about each of these meetings, you can see their agendas. You can go to the Granicus video of the meeting if it's already passed, or you can see the Zoom link if you wanted to attend the meeting remotely. So very, very helpful. And you can see there's a lot of information out here. Okay, with that being said, let's kind of take a look at some of the menu options to the left-hand side. On the payments page in particularly, very important, right? There's a tutorial. If you click on these different windows, there's tutorials will come up and it'll walk you through the most important part of the pages. So we'll just skip that for right now. But just again, if there were charges out here, your charges would be broken up by chargeable services or assessment services. You can pick and choose which ones you want to pay or which ones you don't want to pay. You can pay just a few chargeable services, or you can pay your entire assessments, or you can pay them both. And you just do that by clicking both these buttons, and then it'll calculate the amount that you owe, and then you're able to hit Pay Now. That Pay Now takes us to our credit card provider. The credit card provider stores your credit card information. We do not store any of your personal or private information as it relates to your credit card on any of our systems. The credit card portal that you get linked to is a third-party credit card system. They're PCI compliance, and your data is secured on their network. But also keep in mind that there is a 3.5% convenience fee when you're actually paying your assessments, but there is no convenience fee if you're paying for your chargeable services. To skip the convenience fee altogether, we recommend that you set up and learn about our Easy Pay program. That's our monthly auto debit program that allows you to put your bank account information on file, or funds are withdrawn for your assessments out of your bank account on a month-to-month basis. Pretty much set it and forget it, and you're on your way. Okay, so again, if you wanted to see your statements, and you'd look on the right-hand side, so we have all the statements broken down by month. Basically how the statements will work, you'll see your previous month's open balance, and then you'll see any activity and what your current balance is on the actual statement. Unfortunately, this particular demo account that I have does not have any charges on it, but let's go ahead and click on the PDF button, and you'll see that it says the statement is ready. We can download that statement, go over here to your download section, and then we're able to, if we have a PDF writer on here, see, you're able to see the basic format. Again, you'll see your opening balance, the invoice amount for the month, and any payments made, and what your balance due would be. So that's what your statements would look like. Okay. Again, on work orders, again, we got a much more detailed process on your work orders. Again, there's a tutorial on every single page. We're going to go ahead and skip it. What this is going to show you is going to show you all your open work orders and what the status is. In progress, if it's new, if it's on a final walk, whatever the status it's in, this is the same status that our staff members utilize. So you don't need to call resident service to find out what the status is. You can come in right to your work order and see what the status is. This work order is in progress. That means it's actively being worked on. And then if you need to figure out or find out information on some of your previous work that you had done in your manor, you're also able to see all your closed work orders and be able to see what the status is and what your work order number is for further reference. And then again, a scheduled visit log. No visits are scheduled at this time, so it's blank. All right. So come back up to our top of our page, navigating to the left-hand side. This is where we have the Performing Arts Center and all the events. we'll skip the details, but we briefly touched on it earlier, but you have now, gives you a little bit more detailed information about all the different events that are coming around. And if you haven't been over to the Performing Arts Center lately, you really should. They've done a great job of doing some light remodels and investment in some technology that makes it a very pleasant experience. Again, vehicles, really important. There's no vehicles registered with this particular account, but it's really important that all your vehicles are registered for a couple of different reasons. Number one is we want to equip your vehicle with an RFID. All 12 of our gates there's about 27 gate barrier arms and 12 different gates, and your RFID will get you access to any place in the community without having to wait in the guest lane. So we really recommend that you register a vehicle, get an RFID, equip your vehicle so you're able to traverse the gates with no problems. It's also really important to register your vehicle, especially your license plate information, as when security is patrolling the neighborhood and they see cars that are parked that maybe should or should not be there, they're able to look up your license plate number from your vehicle to make sure that you indeed are authorized to park in the location that you're in. So very important to keep that on file. Next is we have your emergency contacts. Really can't tell you how important that is. This is not just your personal contact information. This is emergency contacts in case something happens to you and we need to reach out and get a hold of somebody on your behalf. This could be your power of attorney. This could be your attorney. It could be your doctor. It could be your children. It could be your relative. But make sure you get in there and upload this emergency contact information. Now, a lot of people think that Everbridge, our emergency contact system, is utilized to reach out to your personal emergency contacts. That is not the case. Everbridge reaches out to your personal contact information to inform and keep you up to date, not your emergency contacts. This is for us to reference just in case we need to get a hold of somebody. And then lastly but not least, we have this external website link. There's lots of different activities and services at the village. The breadth and depth of services throughout the whole entire community, it makes it almost impossible to have one centralized system for everything. But we're trying our best to try integrating all of those experiences all into one. For instance, we have links to the community website. Once you're logged into the portal and you go to your community website, now you'll be able to get access to your governance documents without having to log in again. Next thing is for all your guest management, we have Dwelling Live. Dwelling Live is a third-party solution, so you have to remember what your user credentials are for that. It's also your same email address, but most likely it could be a different password. Some of the upcoming features we got on our next release will allow you to be able to submit guest passes as well as register vehicles online in our next version of the resident portal. So stay tuned for that. And then ActiveNet, if you need to book some rooms with recreation, you can click on the ActiveNet link, go to the ActiveNet system, and then you're able to do you book your rooms and/or sign up for classes. Again, 4UP is for your tee times and maintenance schedules for the golf course. Again, we have links to the Performing Arts Center, links to Granicus, which is all the board member videos, and also the tennis court reserve system. Is that the tennis court or pickleball? I think it's just the tennis courts. So with that being said, the new improved resident portal it's there for you. We know that we have some of our longer term residents that will never use this technology. Please just feel free to call resident services or email resident services and somebody's going to be on the phone to answer your phone calls. For our newer residents who've recently retired that use technology in their personal career and are expecting these type of services, we're building the future for you. And so with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Elise and you take it from there.
Great, thank you so much, Chuck. Mm-hmm. And there we have it. As you can see, there is a lot that goes into running the village and folks keeping tabs on their schedules, their activities, their payments, what have you, anything that they need for a smooth and quality life here in the village. I thank Jenny and I thank Chuck both today for joining us to give us a high-level overview of both the website and the resident portal. And I hope that their tutorials have helped you a great deal as you go forth and try to learn these technologies yourself. And we're confident that with a little bit of practice, you'll be using them like a pro in no time. So thanks again for joining us for another edition of Inside Village Communications. And until then, we'll see you next time.